Yahweh, as we start today, we just pause to ask for Yeshua's guidance. In a world that is, unbelievably loud and chaotic, please bring clarity and truth to the person listening right now. Guide our words in this deep dive. Amen.
Yeah.
So look at almost any social media profile today, right?
Yeah, it's literally everywhere.
Right. You're bound to see the phrase God first sitting right next to like an astrology sign or a hustle culture quote. It's just become this modern aesthetic.
It really has. It's just branding at this point.
Exactly. So today we are pulling from a fascinating stack of sources. We've got recent sociological surveys on Gen Z and millennial faith habits, some psychological research regarding digital anxiety, and our own scriptural notes.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Our mission here is to figure out what mechanically changes in your life when you stop treating Yahweh like a cosmic 911 operator you only call in a crisis.
Right. Actually implementing Matthew 6.33. Seeking his kingdom first as a daily reality, not just an emergency ripcord.
Yes. And that transition isn't just theological, is it?
No. It's immediate, particularly in how we process modern anxiety. I mean, when you consume a daily diet of TikTok life coaches, AI doom scrolling, and economic panic, your brain's amygdala gets totally hijacked. You get trapped in this dopamine fear loop.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that fear loop is so real.
It is. But 1 Corinthians 14.33 states that Yahweh is not the author of confusion. So by filtering your input through his word, you are physically and spiritually replacing a chaotic, algorithmically driven feedback loop with a fixed, unchanging moral anchor.
So you're giving your nervous system permission to stop frantically scanning for threats, basically.
Exactly, because the ultimate authority has already defined your reality.
Let's map that out visually for the listener. Instead of using that old too many browser tabs open cliche, imagine your mind is a GPS system trying to pull directional coordinates from 50 conflicting satellites at once.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Right. You have the comparison satellite, the financial panic satellite, the what-if satellite. Making Yahweh your primary signal shuts off all those conflicting frequencies.
And that single signal focus creates what Isaiah 26.3 calls perfect peace. For a mind stayed on him, it dramatically alters how you view your own behaviors too. Like Psalm 97.7 says, ye that love Yahweh hate evil.
Hate evil, yeah.
Right, so the closer you move toward his light, the more the contrast physically bothers you. Sneaky lifestyles and toxic cycles that used to just, numb your anxiety suddenly start causing intense internal friction.
Yeah, let me challenge that slightly for the listener who might be thinking, I do pray, I try to put Yahweh first, but I still feel overwhelmed. Our generation constantly uses the phrase protecting my peace to cut off uncomfortable situations.
A lot, totally. Yes.
So how do we differentiate between biblical peace and just using therapy speak to avoid accountability?
See, that is the core trap of the modern Live Your Truth movement. Biblical peace isn't the absence of conflict or the isolation of the self. It is the presence of Yahweh's order.
Wow, the presence of his order.
Yeah. When you feel that friction we just mentioned, it often isn't anxiety, it's conviction. If we look at Galatians 1.10, Paul warns that if we are trying to please men, we aren't servants of Mashiach.
Messiah.
Exactly.
Right.
When your core validation shifts to Yeshua, the psychological need to perform for strangers just evaporates. You no longer pose for revenge or flex for likes because your identity is no longer crowdsourced.
Which means true love for Yeshua requires holding yourself to actual standards. I mean, John 14.15 is incredibly direct. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
It doesn't get clearer than that.
No, it doesn't. We are talking about strict, real-world discipline over your finances, your schedule, your screen time, rather than giving Yahweh the drained, leftover 2% of your battery life at midnight.
Well, and living within those standards brings us to the concept of favor, which is specifically outlined in Deuteronomy 28. But we really need to strip away the transactional view of faith here.
Vending machine faith, right?
Yeah, exactly. Obedience isn't the coin you drop into a slot machine to magically dispense a blessing. Righteous discipline places you within Yahweh's designed ecosystem. Favor is the natural byproduct of living in alignment with the Creator's physical and spiritual laws.
So favor doesn't always look like a shiny new opportunity.
Not at all.
Sometimes his favor manifests as a completely blocked path, like the relationship that suddenly shattered or the career move that fell through might be a guardrail protecting you from a disaster you couldn't even see.
That's so true. Proverbs 3.6 promises that acknowledging him in all your ways means he will direct your paths.
Yeah.
The modern world demands you put yourself first. but self-worship eventually collapses under its own weight.
Yeah,
A Yahweh-first life builds a sustainable, reality-based order.
absolutely. So as you step back into the noise of your day, here's a question to sit with. Pull out your phone and look objectively at your screen time, your bank statements, your daily calendar.
The hard data.
Exactly, the hard data of your life. Based on that, is Yahweh truly the director, or is he just getting an honorable mention in the credits?